You've likely had the experience of meeting your partner's closest friends and within minutes taking a massive dislike to one of them. On paper, they did everything right. They shook your hand, smiled, and made polite talk. Yet on the ride home, you tell your partner something about that person feels seriously off. We often dismiss this as a personality clash or a vague bad vibe, but your brain is actually picking up on something specific. It is registering a series of subtle, invisible cues rooted in a biological drive for social preservation. Think of a long-standing friend group as a balanced ecosystem. When you enter the picture, you are a new, high-impact variable. Your presence doesn't just add a person, it fundamentally shifts the existing hierarchy and social connections. This shift triggers a reflex where original members of the group begin comparing their status, career success, and relationship happiness to yours. If you appear confident and make your partner happy, it highlights perceived inadequacies in the people there first. The result is envy, an emotion that is rarely discussed because of how it functions. While people readily admit to feeling angry or afraid, almost no one will admit to feeling envious. This makes it difficult to address because it is almost always hidden behind a mask of politeness. Understanding these dynamics is the first step in seeing social friction for what it is. To protect your relationship, you have to look past the surface and recognize the cues that most people are conditioned to ignore. This process begins with microexpressions, those involuntary, split-second leaks of a person's true emotional state that happen before they can consciously control them. One specific tell occurs during the very first encounter. If you look closely, you may see a flash of disdain or hostility in the eyes. It is usually covered up by a polite smile a fraction of a second later, but if you catch it more than once, it suggests an underlying tension. To move past intuition and get to a more concrete observation, we can look to a method described by the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. The first part involves sharing good news. If a friend is feeling envious, telling them about a promotion or a great vacation can trigger a visible flash of disappointment. Even if they offer congratulations, you can often hear a distinct strain or tightness in their voice as they force the words out. The second part is observing how they react to minor setbacks. When you mention a small frustration at work or a personal struggle, watch for an uncontrollable spark of joy. This is schadenfreude, the experience of gaining pleasure from another person's misfortune. When you start noticing these involuntary reactions, the bad vibe you felt at dinner becomes much more legible. You are seeing the physical evidence of someone struggling with their own feelings of inadequacy. Once identified, you'll see how this envy translates into behavior. One common tactic is what's known as poisonous praise. This involves paradoxical compliments, praise that is mixed with just enough sarcasm or an offhand remark to make you doubt your own success. It sounds like a compliment on the surface, but it's designed to leave you feeling slightly insulted or confused. Another tool is backbiting. Because an envious person can't confront you directly without looking petty, they vent their hostility through gossip. They use the long-standing intimacy they have with your partner to quietly question your intentions when you aren't around. These behaviors often fall into specific patterns. There is the leveler, who masks their envy as a search for fairness. They try to make you feel guilty for your ambition or success, effectively attempting to pull everyone back down to a level they find more comfortable. Then there is the status fiend, who is hyper-aware of social rank. They may ask probing questions about your car or your income, while simultaneously pretending to be above material concerns, hiding their own deep desire for the success they see in others. Finally, the attacher gravitates towards successful people, but lacks their own sense of purpose. They view you as a competitor for attention, and will often try to subtly sabotage your relationship to ensure they remain the primary focus of your partner's time. Recognizing these profiles helps you anticipate how they will act. By identifying the pattern, you can manage the social dynamic without being blindsided by the underlying hostility. The most effective defense is emotional neutrality. When someone targets you with poisonous praise, the goal is often to provoke a defensive reaction that makes you look insecure. By simply ignoring the slight and maintaining your composure, you deny them the drama they are trying to create. For those who are high-achieving, another useful tool is tactical humility. Sharing your own mistakes and past failures makes you more approachable. It disarms the envier's feelings of inadequacy by showing them that your success wasn't effortless or perfect. Cultivating a sense of gratitude also creates a psychological shield. When you focus on what you've built rather than the opinions of those around you, petty or envious remarks lose their weight and bounce off. We can also find a long-term solution in a concept championed by Friedrich Nietzsche, Mitfreude. Mitfreude translates to joying with. It is the practice of actively attempting to feel the joy of another person's success as if it were your own. It requires stepping out of a comparative mindset and choosing to celebrate human accomplishment wherever it appears. The real goal is more than just navigating a difficult friend group. It is about understanding the mechanics of envy well enough to ensure it doesn't take root in your own life, allowing you to recognize greatness in others without feeling diminished by it.